My name is Jeffrey Sievers. I am the general manager for Eaton Store 5882. In the lumberyard, we have trucks that are coming in from different vendors to unload, whether it's shingles or plywood or other materials. So they're dropping off different trucks throughout the day. And so the yard members are just trying to make sure that they plan their day so that they can handle, and we staff so that we can handle whatever comes our way. So we'll have trucks coming that need unloaded. We'll also have deliveries that need pulled for our drivers to get on the road with. So there's a little bit of everything, and just how you handle what's coming next, I think, is the easiest way to, to fit in here, is just not knowing what's coming. So you got to be very, very versatile. So the first thing we do is, for any employee, we have onboarding training that we do. We have some specific training for lumberyard, which includes forklift training and different things to look for. And it also depends on position. So if they're a driver, obviously they're going to have DOT physicals and things to take. But general safety is, wearing gloves, using your hearing protection and safety goggles, and just making sure that you have the right safety gear for the job you're doing. So there's a training video that's required, and that's part of their onboarding process. So if they're going to be in the lumberyard, or we know they're going to be using the forklift, they would have to watch the video. They would have to take the paperwork out to our lumberyard manager, and he would have to sign off on a driver's training. And then even after that, we like to really watch and make sure that they're able and capable to do that. So each piece of equipment or each cutting station or anything has its own training videos and a sign-off worksheet that we've seen that you can do it correctly. Customer safety is something that in the lumberyard we take very serious. We do offer a full service lumberyard. That's something that we take pride in. So we're bringing our customers in and we're hand loading each customer and directing that traffic so that we can ensure their safety while they're here, as long as with our employees as well. So they'll go into the store to place their lumber order, and then at the point of sale, we will radio around to the lumberyard that there's someone coming around, and that the most important thing there is just getting that confirmation that they know that the customer's going to be at the stop sign waiting for them. And when they get to the stop sign, we'll usher them in by looking at what materials that they're getting and move them from space to space to get all their materials. We'll hand load them for them, so to make sure that they're not out of their car or getting injured. As long as we're being able to direct that traffic and we've got them where we want them to be, they're allowed to come out and look at the lumber. They're allowed to load it if they would like to help us. Sometimes they do. Other customers just like to be loaded and they go on their way. So it really just depends on the customer, but we just like to make sure that we're controlling that process so that we don't have multiple cars here at the same time and people just walking around. Anything could happen at that point. We have obviously a gas-powered forklift that we do most of our heavy lifting with. We have delivery trucks, which include Moffett trucks or forklift trucks that we deliver on site with, bunked goods or house package goods. We have a box truck for different things like cabinets, things that you can't deliver in the rain or you want to keep protected. We also have a small pickup truck that will run local deliveries with. We also have a rooftop shingle truck that we deliver with. We also do cutting services in the lumberyard, so we can cut plywood or rip lumber. So there's a lot of different things that you kind of have to learn as you go, and we have different training procedures and sign off for each piece of equipment. So right now we're just going to do a simple cut the board in half. So obviously we have our gloves and our eyewear. You can mark your measurement, and through the clear lens you can see where the saw blade lines up. So if you take it and you line it up with your mark, you want to make sure that your blade is not touching the wood when it starts. So you want to put it back, keep your fingers out of the way. So as you can see, it shoots a lot of sawdust out. So if you're not wearing your glasses, you can get something in your eye. You always want to wait until the blade stops, and then you can just bring your wood through the other side. And if you had to make another cut, then you can load it back on the other side. So with this saw, again, you got to have your safety equipment, eyewear, and gloves. It does have a safety guard on it, so it'll actually open up as you go. So these are something that I look for when I walk the yard to make sure that the guards are still on the machines. So again, you're going to line it up with your mark. On this one, being a little bit wider board, you may have to make a longer cut. And really just taking your time and letting the saw do the work and not trying to force it through the material. We really do pride ourselves on taking extreme caution when we're talking about safety. It's the last thing I would ever want to do is have an employee come in and not be able to go home the same way that they entered, or a customer for that matter. So we try to definitely limit the opportunities for those by looking at our yard and walking. I walk the yard every day. We pre-trip our trucks. We try to prevent that kind of stuff, but in the situations that happen, we really look at it, and I take it to the office and try to see, hey, what we could have done to prevent it, and then what we can do to maybe rectify that situation in the long term. But then the office does a great job of getting it out to the other stores that we may have had an issue here, and this is what we're going to do to fix it, so please be on the lookout for that. The people that work in the situations know a lot better than I do of what is potentially dangerous. So if somebody brings something to my attention, I take it very serious. We will walk out there and we will try to find a way to remedy that situation. And if we can't, then we definitely get other stores involved and see what they do, what their best practices are for handling similar situations. The main thing is to take your time and make sure that you're using the proper gear and protection for each job or station. The second thing is to really take it serious and remember the training that you've done, and not forget it or just say no one's looking. And the third thing is just to pass that training along to someone if you see them doing something that's dangerous or that they shouldn't be doing.